Sis, if that man is acting like you are bothering him, make it your business to never disturb him again. It's one thing if he's saying, hey, this is where my head is at right now, or this is what work is demanding of me right now, or these are the things I got to handle. And prior to this, he was consistent. That's not what I'm talking about. But the man who love bombed you or was so consistent and y'all just vibing so good, the conversations are great, the plans for the future, that's all that you guys are talking about, and then boom, he just pulls back. He just starts acting like you're annoying him, aggravating him. When you ask what's going on, what's wrong? Not only does he shut down at some point, but before that, he acts like you're the problem for even inquiring. Like he acts like the issue is you for even noticing that something is wrong. If that man acts like you are bothering him, when he pulls away, make it your business to never disturb him again. That's not a cry for help. That is a clear communication that he's not interested. Matter of fact, let me be a little bit more specific because I'm your big brother and I know this is going to hurt some feelings. Probably going to cause some of y'all to unfollow me, but I just want to keep it all the way 100 with you. It's either communicating that he's not interested or it's him trying to assess the effectiveness of his love bombing. I usually call this thirst checking, where a man is checking to see what is your level of thirst. I flash this fantasy across your radar. I give you this 2-week, 1 to 2 month experience of the perfect gentleman. And then I snatch it away. Let me see just how thirsty you are for this to continue. Let me see how much power I have. Let me see how much leverage I now have over you. Don't fall for it. The game is cold out here, but don't worry. Your big brother got you, per usual. I'm looking in my DMs, man. Matter of fact, y'all first off, tell me if you've ever experienced this. Put I down in the chat. If you ever had things going, flowing really well with a man, I mean, he's giving you every green flag. He seemingly sees nothing but green flags in you. And then he just starts to go cold. He pulls away. He even gets a little hostile. And whenever you ask him about it, he has a problem with that too. Put I down in the chat if you've ever experienced it or witnessed it. I want to know if I'm talking to anybody. Put I down in the chat if you've ever experienced this or witnessed this. And I already know somebody gonna say, well, Dean, are there exceptions to this rule? Because your heart is not really, first off, I don't know why we follow our hearts. Even the Bible says the heart is foolish. Look it up. The heart is dumb. You're supposed to follow your mind, meaning your standards, your learned lessons, your experiences. And whenever your mind establishes that something is safe, it's aligned with who your best interest, your highest self is, then you bring your heart along. And your heart is going to want to resist what I'm saying. It doesn't want to believe that this dude was playing with you or it wasn't as deep as you thought it was or the feelings weren't mutual. Your mind is going to resist what I'm saying. And I know that. But the truth is, yes, there are exceptions. Let's not ignore the rule. The exceptions are something is going on. And at this time in his life, you just so happen to run into him when his goldfish died and, you know, his mental health problems kicked up and whatever else. Then came in and just really stole his focus and his energy and just zapped him. Okay, cool. That happens like 1% of the time. Most times he's either not interested or he's gauging your level of thirst. He's gauging the effectiveness of his love bombing. Now, if I was to give you another alternative to consider, that would be that he's not yet evolved. He's not yet his best self, in which that's what this all comes down to anyway. But when a man is not his best self, when he's not yet evolved, he's jumped into something he has not prepared for. And again, this isn't a cry for help because this is where a lot of y'all jump into fix it mode and build a man mode. But if the man has not yet evolved and done the work on himself, vulnerability, real feeling, something beneath the surface can really scare him. Again, this is not for y'all to go trying to establish this safety and comfort externally because I guarantee you're not the first woman that is deserving and safe of a man's most vulnerable self. And if he has not yet taken it upon himself to do the healing, do the work, all he's going to end up doing is breaking you because fixers are the first ones to get broken. This is why you absolutely must require a man to have already done the work, to have already evolved. I call these alpha males. We're not talking about the alpha male rhetoric that, we've heard before about a man who makes all the decisions and he's big and bad. And no, but a true alpha male doesn't operate from this wounding. He doesn't operate from insecurity. He doesn't operate from fear. He's not led by his emotions. He's led by his principles, by his plan, by his purpose. He's not led by his pain. He's not led by pleasure. And a lot of times y'all are trying to support a man as if he's led by his principles and his plan for y'all life and all. No, but if he's submitted to his emotions, he's submitted to, again, his pain or his addiction to pleasure. This is why you cannot, as a growth-oriented woman, you will never be equally yoked with a man who is not yet the alpha male version of himself. We all are capable. But the misconception is that as a woman, because you're so powerful, your love is so real, what you guys have experienced is so amazing that you can be the one to pull that out of him. That's got to be something he has in here. Your only job is to recognize when a man is truly an alpha male and make sure you're in position for the alpha male who's going to recognize you as his purpose partner. That's it. That takes the trauma out of it. That takes the abandonment out of it. That takes all of the fixing and waiting and getting years wasted by a man whose intentions never lined up with what he actually translated into consistent action. I'm giving y'all a lot of game. Now, I broke this all the way down in my masterclass, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. If that's something, you're on the market right now, and you know that you're a growth-oriented woman, meaning most men, they either underwhelm you or you just realize you're overqualified for them. Because of the work that you've put in, because of the experiences you've had and learned from and overcome and survived. If that's you, an alpha male is the only level of man you can work with. Now, when you were 20 years old, still a young lady, you may have been good for a guy that wasn't yet the alpha male version of himself. He wasn't yet matured. He had not yet learned. He had not grown out of certain things. But at this level of your life, I got good and bad news for you. The bad news is, your space of singleness, it may last a little longer than the next girl. But if you position yourself for an alpha male, one, it's not going to last that long at all because a lot of alpha males cannot find growth-oriented women. And two, once he finds you, it's going to make the wait worth it. You're going to notice all the love that you've been missing out on trying to get those men to understand you, et cetera, repeating yourself to the wrong man. An alpha male heard you fine the first time. You ain't going to be doing all this repeating yourself and waiting and then meeting the same situation over and over again. But you got to, one, know how to recognize an alpha male. Two, you got to get in position to be found by an alpha male. And you just being a good woman is not going to do it. But I talked about this again in Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. If you want that masterclass for free, where I break down as a woman, if you're growth oriented, how to get in position for your alpha male. Comment the word secrets. I'll send it to you. Okay, it's a little bit different of a breakdown, but right now, back to what I was saying. We're talking about when a man suddenly pulls away, acts like, you bothering him. He doing you a favor by even letting you annoy him as he tries to maintain whatever distance. If a man creates distance suddenly out the blue, please honor his choice. Give him space. That's not your cue to try to explain why you are trying so hard or try to fix or convince him to come back. None of that. What if I told you that anytime that man creates distance, your only power move is to give him exactly what he's asking for? Disappear permanently, completely. If that's what he does. I'm not talking about a man who simply is communicating to you and has been consistent. But guess what? Life is life right now. He's already put in several months, a year or two of consistent showing up, presence, undivided attention, priority. And now he just needs you to understand where he's at in this particular season. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the man who just gave you enough to love bomb you. And now he's pulled it away. That withdrawal is not a puzzle for you to solve. It's a choice he's already made. Stop trying to win back somebody who's already walking away. as a respect to yourself. For your mental health, take mixed signals as a no. Take hot and cold as a no. His distance is his decision. So any chasing that you do is just going to reflect that you refuse to accept his vote. Men don't create distance out of the blue accidentally. They create it intentionally to communicate, again, disinterest or to gauge the effectiveness of their love bombing. And in any situation, this all really comes back to, again, him not being evolved enough to be able to communicate effectively where he's at. It's okay if a man is not interested in you. Again, I'm not here to tickle your ears. Some men, they honestly may not necessarily see a future with you. The problem is whenever he leads you on, strings you along, uses you, continues to siphon out your energy and trying to keep it there waiting for him whenever he chooses to come back. Linger in hope for you to hold on a little bit longer and keep the door closed to the man who's actually going to prioritize you. And the only man who's going to do that is a man who's still dominated by his insecurities, by his ego. If he's not an outright narcissist, and I'm not one of those that's going to diagnose every man who does something wrong as a narcissist, but if that's the case, that's a whole different ball game. He's not only wounded, but he's come to identify with his wounding, gotten addicted to the fruits and the benefits and the rewards of him walking around as such a wounded man, even at the expense of others that he destroys. That's when we're talking about a narcissist. But whether he's a narc or not, you got to defend and protect yourself. And that's why you got to recognize when a man is truly an alpha male, meaning he's a healed, whole, healthy, masculine man. That's what alpha male means. It don't mean he makes this much money, although more than likely it's going to reflect in the money that he has. It don't mean that he stands 6'10". It don't mean those things. It means that you never have to question where you stand in his life. That's when you know you got you an alpha male. And again, you got to position yourself for one. If you want to know exactly how to do that, comment the word secrets. I'll send you the step-by-step on how you position yourself to receive an alpha male. But when a man just operates from a place where he wants to try to control, or he's afraid to be vulnerable, or whatever the case is, he's taking longer to text you back. He's making excuses to avoid seeing you. It seems like, he's distracted when you guys are together. You can't respond by texting him more, suggesting more dates, trying to coach a man who hasn't even made the team. That's what I call that. In the dating phase, whenever you sitting there giving this man the play-by-play, corrections and all that kind of stuff, you trying to coach somebody who ain't even made the team. He's still in tryouts. Don't be trying to correct him and all. In the very beginning, first month or two, doing more to get his attention. Man, look, his behavior is already the answer. He's just too cowardly to say it with his words. So he's going to imply it with his actions. And whenever you do finally take the hint or get the hint, I promise you, he's going to try to spin the block and act like that was never his intention to communicate that to you. But definitely wasn't intentional enough to keep that from being a doubt or consideration or to honor that you had the suspicion. Nah, if a man act like you are bothering him, please give him all the space and then some for good. Anything else it's going to seem like desperation to close that distance. That's what it's going to seem like. And that's going to validate, especially if he's looking for somebody who's thirsty for that love bombing fantasy he just presented you with in the first month that even got you invested enough to try to close a distance. That's going to say to him, oh yeah, she's clingy enough. This confirms it. This confirms it. This is exactly what I was looking for. Somebody who's going to be so dominated by their desire for the little flicker of good man that I showed them. They're going to forget their own standards. They're not going to hold me accountable. I had that as an escape at all times because I can see now she'll overcompensate if I lower my own standards that I'm meeting for her. I know, harsh truth, man. I'm not here to put nobody down. Again, if you know me, you know I'm always here to lift y'all up, give y'all the game. Because honestly, I don't think it serves us as men when we think we're getting away with something. I've been on both sides of the fence. Y'all know I ain't perfect. I'm a lot better than what I was, but shoot, in my 20s, I played the game too and had it all come crashing down. I done paid the price. But I know ain't no point in talking to men. Men don't even hold the power. Y'all do. That's the thing that they're not going to tell you that. Men are not going to admit y'all really hold the power. Straight up. And it doesn't serve us. You know, as a dude, if you think that you getting away with playing a good woman, you playing yourself, bro. And I know I'm kind of ranting a little bit, but you playing yourself out of a woman who really cares for you. But this ain't about, shoot, like the guy that probably needs to hear this probably ain't even listening. This is about those of you who are on the dating scene not getting taken advantage of, not getting the best years of your life wasted, not second guessing if you're doing something wrong or thinking what you need to do more of. When a man says to you, he ain't all that sure about you, you get real certain about how you need to move around so you can receive a man who is sure about you from day one. From day one. Oh yeah, I see him. Hey, I see him mad in the comments. I already told y'all they was going to get upset. Those women who are addicted to that bum that's sitting there stringing them along. Oh, they going to come in here attacking. You got some dudes in here that's going to talk great. I don't care. The dudes, hey, I can fight. They can't whoop me. Matter of fact, let's piss them off even more. Right now, if you know that I'm saying anything that's true, anything, find a little arrow down here, hit the share button so we can piss more of them off. Yeah. I bet they want to cancel me now. But like I was saying, when a man shows you he don't want to be bothered, your power move is to never bother him again. Respecting his distance immediately puts you back in control of your own dignity. That keeps you from a situation where now you got to forgive yourself for the stuff that you let pass, for the stuff that you let slide. Because that's one of the worst feelings. When you got that shame and that guilt for some of the stuff you tolerated, man, that adds on to the healing that you need from somebody who did you bad. But your absence becomes more powerful than your presence ever could whenever you give him that space instead of trying to fight against him for it. Instead of sending him good morning text messages to somebody who barely responds, send nothing. Instead of suggesting hangouts and things that y'all could do to somebody who's always busy, just stop suggesting. Instead of trying to win back somebody who's clearly done, become equally done. Your silence speaks louder than your words ever could. It does. It speaks louder than your words ever could. You just got to make sure you're not thinking that his pulling back is some kind of test of your love. It's really a test of your self-respect. And I'm going to be real with y'all. A lot of women fail miserably. They're not bad women. And if you've been in a situation, you're not a bad woman. It don't mean that you're naive or weak. You just made the wrong move. His distance creation is him making sure you'll tolerate being deprioritized. How you respond to that withdrawal is going to reveal everything about your standards. And this is why you got to make sure you don't go out here operating as if every man got the same heart as you. This is the thing a lot of women don't understand. And then, you get to beating yourself up. And this is why I say don't do that. Because honestly, you probably had an experience where you pulled back, especially in childhood. And the reason why you pulled back is because you didn't have the words. You didn't have the words to say that you needed somebody close. You didn't have the language. You didn't have that ability. Maybe you were fearful that, if you said that you needed somebody and they didn't come through for you, it would make the abandonment more real. But here's the difference, sis. You were likely a child at the time that narrative was pressed upon you. You're dealing with grown men. You're dealing with adults. Now, if you're dealing with a child like your son, your daughter, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a parent. I got 3 babies. One of my children, they like to pull back a little bit. It's my son. I got 2 daughters and a son. And when he pulls back, I go after him. I'm chasing after you. He's quiet. Man, talk to me. I'm validating him because I'm building him up right now because that's my job as his parent. But when you're dealing with a grown man, it is not your job to parent him. He need to go to therapy. He need to go back to his mama to finish what she didn't do, or his daddy, or whoever it was, but not you. Because any other role you play than romantic partner is going to come at the cost of you being and receiving a romantic partner. I need y'all to understand this. It's one thing if you're dealing with your child. They pull away naturally. They don't have the language yet. They don't have the ability to say things yet. They don't have the confidence. Okay, chase after your babies. Chase after your son or daughter. Don't chase after no grown man. I'm sorry. You don't chase after no grown, because by the time that you come across this grown man in his 30s, 40s, 50s, or older, he's already had so much reward from doing this to women who didn't know their worth. He's gotten chased. He's had all the power. He's had all the cards in his hands. He's been able to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, have his cake and eat it too. He's been able to get by, not being held accountable for nothing. He's already had this reinforced for so many years of his adulthood. There ain't nothing you can do to change his mind. He got to already be convicted. And only a true alpha male is going to be convicted against his own nonsense. Only a true alpha male. And these are ready-made. And I'm not saying ready-made like they come out the womb like this. But this means by the time you meet them, he should have already done the work to become an alpha male. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So the only thing you need to do is get in position for the man who's already an alpha male. Don't mean he's perfect. Don't mean any of that. It just means he's done the work to prepare for you. It's like if you invite company over your house, it's not that your house is perfect, but I guarantee you're going to make sure the lights is on, the water works. You're going to make sure the AC works. You're going to make sure that the house is somewhat decent. It may not be, immaculate. Again, there may be something that needs some work. The water heater may make a little noise or whatever. Might be some scratches on the paint. It ain't going to be perfect, but I guarantee you before you invite company over, before you host your family for Thanksgiving or whatever it is you're going to do, you're going to make sure the house is in order and prepared for the people coming over to have a good time. They ain't got to come over here and renovate your house. They ain't got to come over here and do all the fixes and get the toilet right and put food in the fridge. No, you're going to prepare. Whenever you position yourself for an alpha male, you're not saying, I need you to be perfect. You're saying, I'm reserving myself for the man who has prepared. I ain't got to come in and do no renovations on this man's heart. I ain't got to come in and get the paint right, replace the roof. I ain't got to come in and tear up the carpet and put more flooring down. I ain't got to do none of that. I ain't got to come in here and pay the light bill so the lights cut off. No. So when you're dealing with a man and he says, yeah, come over here and do all of this internal fixing and working and no, that man is saying, come over here to my house as a guest and do the work to renovate me. And the sad part is a lot of women do this. And guess what? All you're doing is renovating that man to invite somebody else over the house. You put the work in on. Y'all gonna have me. If I'm speaking facts, because I already know, I already seen people trolling, getting mad. That's cool. But for those of y'all who know that what I'm saying is true, put facts down in the comments. I don't know if I'm talking to myself here. Yes, the masterclass is called Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. I've never seen anybody give such a direct roadmap to alpha males, the type of man that is prepared for a growth-oriented woman. But we're going to end all of this, women that's getting taken advantage of, coming across men who ain't doing nothing but breaking them. We're going to put an end to that. Or at least I'm going to do my part. And if you want to be one less woman that's out here getting appreciated in hindsight, but you want a man who's going to appreciate you when he has you and he doesn't have to lose you to know what he had, that's an alpha male. And your job is to get in position to attract him. Not chase after him, but get in position. Just get in the right spot. Recognize and get in the right spot. I break all of this down in the masterclass. Comment the word secrets. I'll send it to you for free. The cheat code to ending that pattern of dealing with guys who don't do nothing but underwhelm you. You know you're overqualified for. Comment the word secrets. I will send this masterclass to you for free. But understand, sis, your silence after that man creates distance out of nowhere and for no good reason, that is the loudest statement you can make about your standards. Not double texting, triple texting, not asking why, explaining, not being there when he comes back with his BS excuse after the woman that he tried to upgrade from you with and replace you with says, I'm not really happy with you. Or somehow he realizes she ain't on your level. Come on, man. Not fighting for somebody who doesn't want to be fought for. It shows self-respect. Your absence is what communicates that you only engage with men who want to engage with you. You don't send paragraphs explaining your feelings, voice notes. No, you don't ask what you did wrong. You don't beg him for clarity. You simply vanish from his life as smoothly as he tried to vanish from yours. Because in that moment, your silence says, I don't chase, I replace. Those are just my thoughts. Y'all know I'm your internet big bro and I got your back. If this was in any way helpful or you know that it was the truth, find a little arrow down here and hit the share button so you can bless somebody else with this message. Same way you just got blessed. And if you want more, like if you feeling what I'm saying and you're like, hold on, I want a deeper dive. I want more of this. Specifically on the topic of attracting alpha males. If you're ready for the action steps so you can receive yours, comment the word secrets. I'm going to send you the step-by-step guide in the form of my masterclass, about 45 minutes long, where I go way more in depth on how you can get in position to attract your alpha male. Tangible steps now. It's already helped over 15,000 women. Testimonies are going crazy. If you want that masterclass, comment the word secrets or hit the link that I pinned down here in the comments and it's yours. I'll holler at y'all later. Y'all be good.